Hi guys, good evening. It has been quite a long time since I've done an evening live. Kind of waiting for some people to come on. If you do come in, please say hi so I know that you're here and I can acknowledge you. And if this is a replay, please hashtag replay or write replay in the comments just so I can know that you've seen it, that you're here. Thank you guys so far for being here, even though ain't nobody here yet, but you will be. I'm looking forward to some people coming on just to engage. I'm like, ooh, let's talk. What are we going to talk about? What are we going to talk about? I have a general idea of what I want to talk about, and it is really about the importance of community. I was walking earlier today, and hi, Lynette. It's on your heart. I was walking earlier today, and I was, I do talk to myself on my walks from time to time, or pretty much every time. Thank God for earpieces and earbuds and people talking on phones, because if we didn't do that, they would definitely think we were mostly crazy. Because I'm out there, I'm talking to myself. Hi, Shakia. So I was just thinking about where I am now, my own evolution and development, and the realization that I wouldn't be where I am without community in all senses of the word. Community, neighborhood community, community in terms of family, community in terms of the school that I went to or the different schools that I went to, community in terms of my churches when I was going, and the college that I went to and the places where I worked. But all these different places, they helped me, they helped shape me, they helped me grow and develop and help support me along in my journey and into adulthood. And I can see different ways in which each of these places have shaped me into who I am. And one of the communities recently that I can think of that's helped me is was a community called the Woo Collective. Now, it's no longer active, but at that time I had joined it because I was seeking. I didn't know what I was really seeking except answers. I was trying to figure some things out for myself. And I remember one of the co-founders of the group, Lorene, and the other person who's a co-founder, her name was Shakisha, but Lorene was doing readings on her page, and I was like enthralled. I'm like, oh snap, this is wonderful. And she had like hundreds in her comments, like asking for readings, and eventually they started the Facebook group. So I joined. Facebook do what Facebook do. So, when you're not engaged with something for a long enough period of time, like stuff starts to dip off, and then the things that you are engaged with, they start to come back. But I mean, this is so long ago. It's before Facebook became what it really is, honestly. So the algorithm is nowhere as, restrictive and confining as it is now. So I just kind of not fell out, but just fell off of being in the group. So I was at this point, was working, I was really, really unhappy, and it was like one night, and I didn't really feel like doing what I normally do in the evening, which is like right before I go to bed, I break my Kindle open and I read smut and romance novels. Mostly smut though. Badly written at that, but that's another story for another day. So I'm reading this. I'm thinking I'm going to read, and I just didn't feel like it, but I wanted to do something. I wanted to distract from, how I was feeling and like what I thought was just a real sucky situation or whatever that I was in. So I happened to go on Facebook because it's a good place to buy time if you're not wanting to do other things that you're supposed to do, that you need to do, or that you want to do even. So I just so happened to see like there were some people that had gone live in the group. I just kind of clicked on there. I don't know how I ended up in the group, but then it was like this flurry of activity. I'm like, what in the hell is going on in here? It's all these different people like going live, and all these different lives like in the group. And when you get into a Facebook group, like most of the time they got like all these rules like, look, There's no selling in here. There's no promo in here. There's no going live in here unless I'm selling and I'm promoing and I'm going live. That's fine. But you, no. Be nice. Stop cussing. And did I say no promo and selling? Because that's what the hell I meant. You see the rules. So to see a bunch of different people on there, like all these different lives, I'm like, they've been hacked. But they hadn't been. It happened to be on a Thursday, and they had something called Throat Chakra Thursday, where anyone in the group, and there's a group of like 6,000 people, anyone in the group could come on and do a live. They can showcase their abilities, their skills. They can talk about things, teach things. They can like do what they called an ego vomit, which was to go on and just talk and share and emote. Or, hey, Athena. See, she was in there. That's how I met her. And they can emote and they can do all of these things in that group. And I had never seen anything like it. So it was like, yes, oh my God, it was the good old days. Can you believe that? I still can't believe it. Like, that's the good old days. It really wasn't that long ago, but it was long enough ago. But, you know, I was getting readings in there, and I remember Tam gave me a reading, and she was doing like, she was just talking to people, and there were so many people like in her comments. I'm like, oh, because I didn't know any of these people at the time, and there was so much happening, I didn't know where to go. So I saw that there were a lot of people in hers. I'm like, I'll go in here, and it just felt like so warm and inviting, and people were just talking, and they were like in the comments, and she was reading, and everybody's got their hand raised, and I'm like, oh, pick me. Don't know what I want to ask her, just wanted to be read, because, you know, that's what happens when you're like trying to find things out about yourself, about your life. It's like when someone comes up and says they have this ability to show you something or guide you or tell you something that you don't know. You're just like, look, I want everybody in here to tell me something that I don't know. I was just thinking about a great space to be, play, and connect. Absolutely. It was wonderful to be in there. And I remember I'd raised my hand, and Tam, you know, she was saying stuff and like read for me. She was amazing. Then there were other people that I connected with, and they were so very encouraging, which is the biggest thing that I love. Besides the warmth, besides the openness, they were encouraging. So they were encouraging me to go live. I'm like, I don't know what to say. Like, all of you guys are like, you know, goddesses, heroines, and amazing individuals and very gifted. And I don't really have much to share. This is what I was thinking. And Tam, girl, when you gonna go live? When you going live? When you gonna go live? Trying to imitate her, but yeah, she's hilarious. But she's gonna kill me when she sees this. But I didn't know. And the next time, it was another Thursday. I didn't go live that night. The next Thursday, I said, I'm gonna go. I felt this urge to go. Like, I felt so, you know, inspired and motivated by all the encouragement that I received. And didn't go live the next time. But that third week, that week after, I was watching someone, and Tam asked me again. I said, okay, I'm going to go live. And I went live, and I just talked. I got on and I talked about something that I had learned, or something that, something came up for me to share. I'm not even really sure, but I went live, and I was like so nervous. It was like upper lip was probably sweating, because it does. And I didn't know what I was going to say exactly, but once I pressed the live button and I just started to speak, like, things came out. And there were so many people that were there continuing to encourage and asking questions and making jokes, and we were just having a good time. And from that experience, like, I wanted to go live like every Thursday. So I pretty much did. I went on there and I encouraged other people to go live. I would go on other people's live streams, and even if I didn't ask for them to read for me specifically, because at some point I did become more aware of my own energy, and I don't let everybody read for me. I don't let everybody dabble in all of this. You just can't. Even if they're wonderful, like, it's not for everybody to do. But that's, again, another story for another day. But I would talk about business, and then I would also share my energy healing, which I had been really kind of shy about sharing on my personal page, because I still didn't know how to talk about it, and I still was afraid of like what people would think about me doing that. I thought that people would judge me and they wouldn't understand. Whereas there were definitely some people who were on my page that were open and that tried it because I did it live, and they were like, "Oh, this is wonderful." But I was still like a little not sure. But in there, I didn't think about it. There was no fear in me doing it because I knew that I was supported, right? And what ended up happening is that I grew so much in this group because there was nothing that I couldn't share. There was nothing that I couldn't explore because there were people in there who understood, or they dabbled in it, or they knew something about it. So I just felt really held in this group, and it was very pivotal to who I am right now. Like, even though I went to Toastmasters and things like that, it's one thing to know how to speak publicly. It's something else to know how to speak on a live stream, because it's different than standing in front of a group of people or being on top of the stage where there's an audience of 10, 20, 50,000 or anything like that. But it's something completely different to really showcase yourself, right? To really truly be honest, share from your heart, and talk about things that you know people don't understand or that they may not agree with. And there were so many people who had the same story, that were so talented and gifted and were really into like the woo, like different variations of the woo. And they were frightened about putting this stuff on their personal page because they knew that their families wouldn't approve, or certain friends wouldn't approve, or what if some people at their job found it, and so on and so forth. So they didn't share that part of themselves there. And if they weren't sharing that part of themselves there, they also more than likely weren't sharing that part of themselves with their own families, with their friends, with their kids. So there were big chunks of their life that were just hidden until they were able to go into this group, this community, and just let their freak flag fly. Just be out and about doing their thing, myself included. So when I recently did my ascension and shared that story, there have been some things, again, that have been made clear to me about my own path, because I've been trying to square peg round hole this situation for so long, even though it wasn't quite fitting and I didn't know what that was about or why, because I was so married to who I thought I was and what I was here to do, until things just kind of fell away. Like, yeah, no, not that. That really wasn't it. Let's bring it in more and make it more centered and clear for you. And now it is. And my mission is to support. My mission is to create community. And when I think about community, being a part of the woo was an example of the kind of community that I'm supposed to create. Now, keep in mind that my community isn't necessarily for people who are looking to explore the occult or the woo, if you will, crystals and those kinds of things. It's really meant for you to explore yourself. It's really meant for you to explore yourself, because in being in a space where you get to say things that you don't think that you could ever say out loud because someone's going to judge you or reject you, or there is something that you really want to try that you're afraid that someone else might not understand or agree with, or there is something that you're wanting to do and have always wanted to do but never had that opportunity, like go back to school in your 50s, even though you have a great job and, making good money. You're like, I want to leave it all and go back to school to pursue my art, which was what I've always wanted to do. And people discouraging you or judging you for wanting to make a choice like that. So it's not necessarily just about, or only about, or even about the woo. It's about you and what it means to be true to yourself, what it means to explore you, what it means to ask yourself some of the hard questions, or to sit with yourself when you're triggered, or when you're being honest about the fact that you love your partner but you no longer want to be with them, even though they've not done anything wrong. It's just a feeling that you know is true to you, right? So sometimes it calls for us to be honest. It calls for us to make certain decisions that we're afraid to make, but we know that we must. Like that inner nudging, like something is pushing you to do something, to say something, to be something. And we hold off on doing that a lot of times out of fear and out of not wanting to be alone. And the community that I'm creating is about not being alone, being able to be yourself and not being alone, being supported, being encouraged, not judged, and all those things. So I created this container in particular. It's called the Chamber. It's a 12-month container at that, for 5 people. So it's small, it's intimate, it's private. It's a safe space for anyone who was looking to rediscover themselves, because I believe we already know when we get here. Then life conditions us, our experiences condition us, our trauma conditions us, and on and on and on, to be limited for safety and to belong, when belonging isn't being what everybody expects you to be. Belonging is being yourself in a place where nobody cares that you may be different than they are, or you may have different experiences, or feel differently, or a different path than other people in this circle does, right? So the Chamber is that place that I created for that reason, because I am here to support. And since it's my mission, creating something like that allows for me to be in community with other people who need my support, who can be supported by me and by the other people in said community. Like I said, it's a 12-month program, or not a program, but a container. And we are talking about topics like sexuality and money and family and career and spirituality and our homes, our relationships. Like everything and anything is open to discuss in that container underneath of the sun. Any and all things. We do discussions and meditative visualizations and energy work, breath work, and also listening, and sometimes just sitting and being, sensual sessions and intuitive messages, and so much more there. It is open now for enrollment, so I'll put the link in the comments if you would like to learn more about it. You can go to that link, and if it's something that you are interested in joining, the application is at the bottom of that page. If you have any questions that you would like to ask me about it, feel free to ask it in the comments. You can also send me a DM. How the process works is that you apply, and I will review your application within 72 hours, more than likely much sooner than 72 hours. And if it feels like an energetic match, I may have some additional questions, and we'll schedule a call and we'll talk and see if you are really a good fit for what the Chamber is, and go from there. So if you have any questions now, you can feel free to ask me. Otherwise, I am going to roll off here and read some good. What time is it? Oh, 7:19. What? Brevity. Oh my God. I didn't know that was possible for me, because you know I like to get on here and straight run my mouth. But I'm really proud of this journey. I'm really proud of myself. I'm really proud of how things are shaping up, even though the things are feeling so different, like even this. And what I do know about this journey and the self-discovery is simply that things are not what you think. Things are not what you think. We don't know anything. Even when we think we do, things become clear, and then you're like, all right, I got it. And then it's like some new level is unlocked, and you're like, okay, this wasn't that. This is different. Where am I? And that's what it feels like. So having people along that are in the same boat, that are learning, that are exploring, that are discovering themselves, and you know, you just never know where it's going to take you along the way. You think something so simple like reading a book is just going to be, oh, that was a good book. but you have no idea that there's a piece in that book that's going to unlock something within you, that's going to take you someplace else that's completely unexpected. And at the end, like somewhere else, you never know like what a passage in a book can do for you, what a conversation can do for you, what encouragement in a group of strangers can do for you, and where it's going to take you. Like, I had no idea that being a part of a group like the Woo Collective was going to lead me to feeling and receiving the encouragement enough to make the hard choice of putting in my notice. I actually told them first. They were the first people that I told when I did it, because of how encouraging and supportive they've always been. There were some friends I told way later than I told them. Didn't know them. Didn't know a lot of people in that group. But I felt them. And I knew how they were to me and how they showed up for other people. So much so that even though the group has been archived for at least a couple years now, I'm still Facebook friends with so many ladies from that group. Bought stuff from them. They bought stuff from me. They show up on the live. I show up on their lives. They've read me. I've read them. I mean, even yesterday I was down bad, y'all. That migraine took me to the floor, and it wasn't horrible, but it was worse than I've had, and I haven't had them in not a really long time, but it's been a minute since I've had them, so it's almost like I forgot what it feels like. And then I felt nauseous too. But there was one of the ladies from who I met in the Woo Collective, and she asked me if she could send me some Reiki energy, and I said yeah. And the minute that she did it, my head started tingling and my body felt really warm. And from that moment, like, it had been subsiding because I was putting like peppermint oil. I call it the ski slopes because I put it my temples right here, and then my eyes start watering. I put it behind my neck and then my temples, and then when I put it here, like in my nostrils, and inhale, it feels like this peppermint patty ski slope situation. So I call it going skiing, and that usually helps a lot. But it was still there. But her Reiki like deaded it. It was done. The headache was gone, but the stomach was still like, not really sure if I want to be going yet. But it definitely subsided. So I'm just talking about how, the bonds that were formed in that group. I can't say anything negative at all about that group except that it ended. That's all I got. But I'm grateful for every single person that has read for me, spoke to me, like spoke to my heart, encouraged me, supported me, like have been with me, even though I haven't met any of them in person, like none of them. Dying to, haven't done it, but the way that we've bonded, even well after the group has since closed, it speaks to the importance of community. And it really is what I'm fostering in mine, bonding with a small group of people together for a year to talk about and be themselves, to talk about things, explore things, and be themselves. So I'm going to get ready to go, guys. But again, if you have any questions about the chamber, send me a DM. If you want more information, I put the link in the comments so I don't know where it is in the grand scheme of things as to where you see it. And if you are wanting to apply, I am inviting you to join. Doors are open. The program is actually starting. The official doors are opening to start on March the 31st. So if you're wanting to be a part, hi Marisa! If you're wanting to be a part, then I wouldn't wait. It's only 5 slots available. And there's still so much more to come. Like, this is the beginning. It was the taste, which I'm absolutely going to do more of. Like, that was amazing. And I got some new ideas for some new ones to do with, like, do some new things to do with the taste, like this morning. Like, it's gonna be fucking ridiculous, I'm just telling you right now. But there's like so much more that has been revealed to me that I'm supposed to bring forth. And you know, I got laid out this morning like, look, you will deliver this. So I had to move beyond my fears and my worries and the stuff that's going on like in my head about, you know, can you do this and all of the stuff. But below my neck, it's like everything is like real chill, like really like, you got this, girl, it's gonna be breezy. And I'm just trusting that. Even though this is like, wildfire sale, we're all gonna die. Like, it's like, wherever it's at, like, no, that's not true. Just come on back. It's gonna be good. And yeah, the Taste of Chamber, very exciting, very, very exciting. So, but thank you guys so much again for being here. I'm available if you need me. Let me know if you have questions. Slide in my DMs. I am here and open. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll be talking to you soon. I think I might go live on my walk tomorrow just so you can see the geese trying not to hiss at me because they are vicious. Have a great evening, guys. Talk to you soon. Bye.